Welcome to this worship service and fall ingathering at First Unitarian Society of Ithaca, a community that reaches for connection, digs deep for inspiration, and strives to engage with a complex and uncertain world as we work together to shepherd our community through this time of physical distancing. My name is Magdalene Lindeberg. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to everyone, whether you are newcomers or longtime attendees, members of the Ithaca community, or watching from afar. We are delighted you have chosen to worship with us. Once again, we gather while physically apart. In honor of our traditional gathering of the waters, I am standing here beside our little garden pond, with its lilies transplanted from the lake at Camp Unirondack. I have spent a lot of time here this summer. But a time will come when we will be able to gather together again. Be sure to check your email, our Facebook page, and our website for more information on how to create connections. If you'd like to receive weekly updates describing opportunities for engagement, please email a request to office@uuithaca.org. Our service this morning has been pre-recorded, but we look forward to sharing the service broadcast on Sunday morning and seeing you at the live coffee hour that follows. I have one additional announcement. There will be a congregational conversation hosted by the church board today at 12:15 following the coffee hour. Our purpose of this is to explore action items related to anti-racism work in our congregation. And once again, welcome to our service.
Our words this morning for our opening are by my colleague, Reverend Mishra Marzetti. They're called River Call. Between rocking the boat and sitting down, between stirring things up and peaceably going along, we find ourselves here, in community, each called from many different journeys, many different life paths, onto this river road. Some are here because the rocking of the boat has been too much tumult, too much uncertainty, too much pain. Some are here with questions about where the boat is going, how best to steer it, where this journey ends. Others are here as lovers of the journey, lovers of life itself. Here in front, beside, behind, each a passenger, each a captain, doing the best we can. Rest here in your boat with me, the river calls. Listen to how I flow, the sound of life coursing all around you. Let the current hold you. Let the current guide you. The river that gently flows through your soul whispers, "Come, let us worship." Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm going to light our chalice this morning. The flaming chalice is the symbol of mystics and heretics, artists and activists, reformers and refugees, and Unitarian Universalists everywhere. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action.
May Welcome. For those of you who do not know me yet, my name is Emily Richards, and I'm thrilled to start my journey with all of you as FUSIT's new Director of Religious Exploration. Before I start, I want to make sure all of our young people have their small dated packet marked September 13th. It's going to look like this. If you don't, feel free to go grab it now and hold on to it. Some, I hope many of you were expecting to see me today. For others, this might be a surprise. There are so many new beginnings happening right now, most of them in unexpected ways. And I imagine that it can feel overwhelming. For many of you, tomorrow will be the first day of school. And with it, the typical new teachers, seeing friends you haven't seen in months, gathering your new school supplies, pens, pencils, notebooks, binders, crayons, maybe new sneakers or shoes. For parents, the familiar rush of figuring out what your child needs this year and how to acquire those items. But many parts of this new school year feel very different. You might be starting your year virtually, or spending this whole year learning at home. For those of you going back to your school buildings, there will be less students, new rules, getting used to wearing a mask, and other expectations to figure out. And some of you I know are homeschooling, for the first time or continuing to do so. But even that will undoubtedly be different, as past activities such as music, sports, or dance may be canceled or changed. Favorite locations for educational outings might be closed, or what they are able to offer could look very different this year. Or maybe you're a teacher and attempting to learn a whole new way of providing instruction. Perhaps you're a parent or grandparent, figuring out how to best provide support for your children while still fulfilling your own responsibilities and obligations. Or you are a member of this community that is concerned and anxious about the return of the college students, amazing young adults who bring vibrancy and life to our greater community, and who this year have also brought about feelings of apprehension for many. And it is a lot. And I don't know what this year is going to bring. No one does. But I do know that we are here with you. Children, students, parents, teachers, adults, families, we are here with you during this time of transition. You may find that you feel more worried than usual. So we've made each one of you something to help with those worries. Now it's time to open your packet. Inside, you should find something that looks a little bit like this. Yours is undoubtedly a different color and pattern than mine, but they all have the same purpose. These are worry stones. Hold your stone between your index finger and your thumb, and gently rub your thumb back and forth across the stone with me. This action of moving one's thumb back and forth across the stone can help to reduce stress and worry. Worry stones have also been called palm stones, thumb stones, fidget stones, soothing stones, and sensory stones. Worry stones have many origins. Variations on the concept originate in ancient Greece, Tibet, Ireland, and multiple Native American tribes. The concept of a worry stone began by the simple action of picking up a smooth stone and fiddling with it. This year, we will join many other UU churches as we come together today to honor all of those who will be heading back to school with a blessing. In past years, we've done a backpack blessing. But I know that for many of you, this school year is going to be different from past years, and you might not have a backpack. And to honor all of our own individual journeys and the worries that they might hold, this year we will do a back-to-school blessing using our worry stones. And for those of you watching that did not receive one of these stones, you can choose any object that you carry with you. A purse, tablet, phone, watch, a piece of jewelry, or even your keys. I invite you now to hold your worry stone or other item in your hand. Today, we will bless these stones that have been made with love from FUSIT to each of you. They can be placed in your backpack, on your desk, or at your workspace to remind you each day through technology glitches, stress, and meltdowns, through things going right and things going wrong, that no matter what, you are loved. When things are at their best and we are at our best, we can still forget that we are loved. When things are going wrong and we are not at our best, we can forget that even now we are loved. May this blessing be a constant reminder that you are loved. In these times especially, many of us do not see people nearly often enough, do not have the physical interactions our human bodies need. Still, you are loved. Many of us have not enough alone time. Our rooms and our houses feel too small for the presence of so much family time. Even in this, you are loved. Many of us are feeling the complicated emotions that come from being out in this world more than we would choose to be if all the choices were our own. In this too, you are loved. Many of us are wondering what will happen next, moving from hope to fear and back again, simultaneously hoping for change and stability, wanting safety for everyone and opportunity as well. In this too, you are loved. May this blessing be a constant reminder that you are loved. We are all a part of something larger than ourselves. Our lives connect with each other's in ways we understand and ways we cannot even imagine. When we take precautions to slow the spread of a virus, we take care of the people we know and the people we will never meet. We do this to treat all people kindly. When we grow some of our own food or use our car less, we take care of our community and the earth that is our home. We are connected in amazing and intricate ways. You are loved. In the intricate net of all these connections, there is a love that holds us all. One of the blessings that is being a part of a church community is that we are reminded that we are connected to so much, to so many people, that in fact we are surrounded by love. You are loved. May these stones remind you that you are a part of a greater UU community. May they remind you that no matter what the stress or fear, there is a path forward. And through that and along that path, you are loved. May this blessing bring you love that you will share with the larger world. Blessed be.
Our meditation this morning are words by Reverend Molly Hausch Gordon and Jamila Batchelder. The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall, wearing rock away at the sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly, steadily? Are you buoyant, like a great salt lake, practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious, like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm, like the pond at daybreak, offering a radiant peace by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths, pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve any stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow like the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon that strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul. We need your power, each of you. We need your resilience, each of your love to make us whole. So may it be. Amen, and blessed be. We find ourselves on the brink of a new year here at Puset. This year is unlike any other we have had before. We're meeting together virtually amidst a worldwide pandemic that keeps us apart physically, but that also encourages us to join together in new and creative ways. We're spending a lot of time apart these days, and typically we would be celebrating together in the sanctuary here, returning to a new year of singing together and worshiping together and gathering together for small groups and religious exploration. But for many of us, we're instead having to adjust to a new school year, a new work year, doing school and work from home, a way of being as we continue to make it through this difficult time. And still here we are in a new church year, a new year of shared ministry, a new and invigorated commitment to welcoming and community and justice, a year that brings new people, new programs, new ways of being in community with one another.
In our water communion ritual, we are invited to think about the healing role that water plays in our lives. We are invited to think about the ways the water helps us find a sense of calm, or fun, or the limitlessness of possibility. We also see water as a symbol of our community and our connection to one another. We bring it as a symbol of our connection to other beings, the natural world, and our interdependence.
Water flows through each one of us. It's a symbol of purity, of life. It's the source of life itself. So I invite you to close your eyes, just for a moment, or soften your gaze in a place in front of you. Think about a place with water, or a place near water that holds meaning for you. Perhaps it's water from your garden hose where you spent hours growing vegetables or flowers this summer. Perhaps it represents the tears you cried upon the death of someone special. Perhaps it's from the tap of the sink in your new apartment, or the lake or the creek near your home. Or perhaps it's the water you washed your hands with again and again and again and again this summer. Wherever it's from, it represents the experiences we carry with us into this new church year together. Now open your eyes.
In a typical year, we would invite you to bring your water forward and tell us 7 words about it. But this year is anything but typical. So we will do it in a new way. Reverend Margaret and I will share some water that represents some of the important moments in this community's life together. In a few moments, we will share some pictures of watery places that you have sent to us. We invite you to imagine the waters from these places and experiences intermingling together in this bowl. A year from now, when we are able to gather again, we will start this water service with the water we gather here today, as a representation of our shared history and of the ways that this community grows and changes over time.
This water we gather represents this community. It represents the way we support and nourish one another and help to bring out one another's gifts. It represents our connection to the natural world and our responsibility to protect and respect it. Together, we acknowledge that this water symbolizes a time of reunion, of reconnection, of joining together. Each of us comes to this congregation for different reasons: to find encouragement, to live into the wonder of the journey, to find comfort in times of need. We seek to be in community with one another and engage in the issues of this world. And I'm thankful that we have this place to be together.
As people of many ages and stages, we are called to take risks and to trust one another. My hope is for us to continue to take risks and challenge one another to strive towards our best selves. Let us gather all of those hopes, fears, and experiences together.
We will start by adding the water that we gathered last year and the years before that for this ritual as a representation of this living community and the ways our community changes and grows. Since we gathered last September, we have lost members of this community. Some have died, some have moved away, others have chosen to leave for a bit of time. And we've also welcomed new life, new babies and children, new families who are new to the area, and others who have wandered in our doors during the past year. May we be ever mindful of the ebb and flow of life and community. These waters, intermingling our joys, sorrows, travels, connection to home, they're an illustration of our community. And so we bless this water together.
This water holds within it the power to nourish and nurture us all, and holds the blessing of our hopes, fears, sadness, and joy.
May it continue to be a source of renewal for each of us, for this community, and for this world.
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond. Your offering is gratefully accepted.
James Baldwin once wrote, "For nothing is fixed. Forever and forever and forever it is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other," he writes, "the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out." Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. Each September, we gather together. We gather with the waters we've collected from sources across the globe and from our backyard. And in this ritual, this water communion, we are reminded of the generations who have lived before us. We're invited to wonder about the generations who will come after us. Here in this moment, we find ourselves amidst a stream that has been flowing for generations and will continue on long after we're gone. The water is always flowing and changing and shifting from the wind and the rocks and the riverbeds that guide it toward something larger, more vast, more expansive. The sea grinds down the rock, not all at once, not with one hard motion, but with the repetition and the constancy of force that wave after wave after wave wears it down, smooths it out. I think life can be like that. Just as we reflected together in our opening words, we are each brought onto this river road by life's circumstances. We're each brought with our rough edges, our smooth parts, our places of brokenness, seeking healing and wholeness. Some among us are looking for a source of inspiration, of community, and some are trying to tread the waters of uncertainty and worry that threaten to overturn our vessels. And some are showing up time and time again to help those who need buoying every once in a while. The reality is that none of us is in only one of these circumstances all the time. Each of us will have our turn. This too shall pass, as it has been said. This too shall pass. Currently, we are all experiencing a tumultuous storm of sorts. We find ourselves amidst a worldwide pandemic, trying to find our way through what feels like an endless fog that threatens our patience, our sanity, our persistence. And we are in the same storm together. Not the same boat, but the same storm, each equipped with whatever vessel we have. Some among us are well prepared. We've trained for this. We are accomplished sailors, and we have been through storms and high waves. Our boats are well stocked, well supplied. We have plenty of resources and a whole crew to help us out. Others are not so fortunate, finding that their boat is taking on water, realizing that there are unresolved cracks and holes, just trying to stay afloat long enough to make it through. And still others are barely holding on to whatever life preserver or spare debris floats within their grasp. And today we are reminded that wherever you find yourself in this vast sea, you are not alone. For nothing is fixed. Forever and forever and forever, it is not fixed. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, The moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us. The light goes out. It is in the storms that we must not break faith with one another. It is in the storms that we must cling to what is strong and true. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed. If we've learned anything in the last 6 months, it is that nothing is fixed. Many of the things we once took for granted and knew as true are simply neither of those things. The earth is shifting, the water is flowing, the generations continue to be born, and we continue to belong to them and them to us. While this may be the first pandemic you and I have lived through, it is not the first pandemic that this congregation has lived through. Ours is an historical and strong congregation that has lived through pandemics and wars and challenges after challenges. I find great strength in that knowledge. We are not the first to struggle. We are not the only ones struggling in this vast and open sea of tumult and fear. And we must cling to what is good and true. We must help one another. There are maps to help us, wisdom from those who have gone before. There are guides who can offer their help and their companionship. There's space for new wonders to emerge. Nothing is fixed, but we are wise not to let go of one another. May we find moments of serenity and calm amidst these challenging times. May we acknowledge our gratitude for the ways we have been sheltered in this storm and learn about the times when we can shelter others. May we be reminded of that always flowing river into which we wade, grateful for those who come before us, committed to those yet to be born. Ours is a living tradition. It flows and twists and turns and can bring us to places new and amazing if we trust in the journey. So may it be. Amen. And blessed be. Our closing words this morning are by Sweet Home Teacup. May we recognize and abandon the familiar attitudes and practices that do not serve the whole. We are who we are, and we have the opportunity to be who we want to be, to create a new inheritance for the future. May our thoughts and words and actions in our daily lives assist in dismantling paradigms of oppression and suffering. May we give thanks for our individual place in time and space, to our families and our relationships that touch and change us. May we give thanks to the wise teachers who help us remember how to be and the chance to make it so. Underneath and within these stories and histories is our humanity. Being human means we are of this earth. We are these waters. We are fire and atmosphere. We are the sun and the moon and the stars. We are all that we see, and the wisdom is revealed by looking in between. My friends, as we continue on into yet another week that will challenge our hearts, our minds, our very sense of being, I wish for you moments of wonder, of joy, of noticing beauty in this big world in which we live. I wish you moments of letting go of expectations, of seeing where the river may take you. May you remember that your hands are strong enough, you are good enough, you are loved, you are loving. We extinguish this chalice, but not the hope, love, and courage that it represents. We carry our love and our courage out into this beautiful and broken world. Our service is now ended. Let our true service now begin. Go in peace.